Hey, y'all. I am back. Sorry. Sorry. I am back with another video. So you already know I'm gonna tell you to do stop what you're doing, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share notification, and hit the bell notification, I should say. So you're always notified when a new video goes up. And then I want you to grab your beverage of choice and let's just sit and chop it up a little bit. All ready? A lot of us are or have been, or we may get to this point. And I thought that it would be super, super helpful to have a very transparent and organic conversation. I'm not even going to time myself. We just going to run with it. And I'm going to chat as much as I feel is helpful and beneficial. And then when I'm done, I'm done. And we're going to log off and go on about our day. Okay. And this one little lock is like doing its own thing. So y'all don't. We're going to let the babies live. We're going to let the babies live. But what I'm talking about today is the loss of our identity, or realizing that it's not a loss, we never had it, right? So sometimes it's a loss, sometimes it's a discovery. And so a lot of us, like I said, have either been there, are there right now, or we are going to experience that at some point. A lot of people just experience that. Hold on, my kids are going wild. One sec, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So again, it's either the loss of your identity or discovering that you don't know what it ever was, right? And so again, we've all kind of been there, we're navigating that, or we will be there. And so this conversation is my hope that it will help you in that space. And so I'm going to share my own personal thing and then kind of talk through some ways that I feel like others that I know or connected to me or I've seen are going through some things. And then giving some ways I think to combat that, to make it a little bit easier. It's always going to be uncomfortable, so I'm not going to tell you it won't be uncomfortable, but to make the navigation a little bit easier. So my personal story, and some of you may know this, is I did not start discovering myself until mm, after 30 and really honing in on who Petra is. And I would say even in the past 3 years, so from about 2019ish, 2020 to now. And that's the thing. Hold on one sec, I got a message. Listen, this video is going to get done. I don't know what's happening, but we're going to get it done. So my own personal 2019, 2020, I began to realize like there's just something happening. I don't feel like myself. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I like. I don't know Petra. And so it started this very intense, this very burdensome, this very overwhelming journey into really building relationship with myself, and not just in words but in actions, and how I care for myself, how I'm moving with myself, how I'm navigating the dark alone, how I'm learning to listen to the voice that has been quiet for so long. Because a lot of us get to this place where we live for everybody else. We do all the things that people believe and expect of us. And then we lose sight of our own expectations, our own desires, and the purpose that God has specifically for us. And so I had to do the hard work of pulling back and being really radical with stripping away the things that just did not really matter to me, right? And when I say that, I'm not saying that I was pursuing just happiness. I'm saying that I am only pursuing the things that sustain the joy, right, that God has given me. Something that I can go back to when days are hard. Like, it's still there. I still have joy because I am plugged in the way that I need to be, and not just doing things to do them, not just doing to make other people feel happy, and not just doing the things that make me feel happy, but doing the things that help me to be fulfilled, help me to do the purpose that I have for my life. And even in that space, understanding when I'm tapped out and I cannot do that, and I need to just pull back and be intentional about healing and about listening and about growing and about stretching, because you can't do purpose every day if you're depleted. You can't do purpose every day if you don't know why you're doing it. You can't do purpose every day if you don't even know who you are in that space, right? And so some of the things that I've also seen in relationships around me, it becomes to a point where you can't do anything else and you almost feel like you're going crazy. Like you don't even know your favorite foods, your favorite colors, you don't know your own style, you don't know what your relationships are like. You don't understand how to engage properly with yourself. You don't have good sleep. Your eating habits are all over the place, so your weight is up and down. Your body is physically manifesting craziness from your emotional and your spiritual deficiencies, which happened to me a lot. So my body was actually manifesting cancer symptoms, and the doctors did not know what was happening to me. I was actually, I will never forget being in the car with one of my best friends and talking to her, and I was literally in tears. So I was like, I feel like I'm dying and nobody can help me. My body is literally shutting down and nobody can help me. There are doctors that think something's wrong with me, but they don't know what it is. And there's other doctors that think that I'm just crazy. There's other doctors that think I'm making it up. But I had bruises all over the place. I wasn't falling. Obviously wasn't hitting myself, like nothing like that. I had crazy pains. My weight was up and down. My body was discharging crazy fluids, like just, I mean, it was nuts. I was losing my hair, just so much stuff. And then after really getting with the right person, the right specialist, they were able to diagnose me with almost like hyper anxiety. And I'm a very high functioning person with anxiety. And I knew that I had anxiety. I knew that I'd suffered from depression at some point, but I did not realize how bad it was and how hypersensitive I had become, to the point that I could not function at all, like at all. And it was because I was terrified of everything. I didn't understand what was going on around me anymore. My thoughts were all over the place. I felt like I was constantly floating. And I did not know how to secure myself, because how I secured myself before was showing up for everybody else, doing all of the things, right? But I wasn't doing anything that spoke to me in any real sense. There were some small things that I was doing, but not on any major level. And so God took me on this journey of realizing that I have to perfect the relationship with myself as I'm perfecting my relationship with Him, because it's difficult to have a full relationship with God when I don't even know myself, when I don't know who I'm presenting to Him, when I'm giving Him this narrative that's not even me, that I don't even know anymore. Right? So I feel like I'm offering Him all of me, and He is like, girl, who is that? Right? You're so frustrated and you're trying so hard um to love on me, but you don't love on you. And so it has taken years, years of stripping away certain things and just sitting with the simple things. Something as simple as realizing that my favorite food is tacos. All tacos. I love fish tacos, shrimp tacos, chicken tacos, like all, walnut tacos. I love tacos. They make me happy. I knew that I loved coffee, but I did not understand that it's actually like a safe space for me. I started drinking coffee when I was 8 years old, because my grandmother, she would let me taste hers. And it's something that centers me because it takes me back to a time where I felt safest. I did not know that. I did not know that. I thought it was just a taste thing. That's cool. Blah, 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 blah. But it literally, it centers me. And so for me, when I'm having coffee at the beginning of the day, it's not for an energy thing. It's because I do so much that I need something safe, that I need something that is centering, something that is stabilizing, something that makes me feel and takes me back to that inherent place of joy, that seated joy. That's why I start my day with coffee. I didn't know that. Right? Um, Realizing that I show up for people because I very much so feel like I have to prove that I am a really good friend. And because I genuinely care about them. I don't want them to feel alone. And the reason that is because I have felt alone for the majority of my life. Even though I've been surrounded by people, I have felt alone. because people don't think like I do. People don't do like I do. People don't battle the internal thoughts that I battle, like all the things. And I'm sure all of us can relate to that, right? And I didn't realize that I was projecting my own fear of and reality of not being um, with people and showing up for in the way that I needed to be onto my relationships, like constantly showing up, overextending myself. And let me be very clear before y'all go ragging on my friends, I have amazing friends and all of them would show up for me at the drop of a hat. But because I did not know how to communicate how I needed to be shown up for, they couldn't do that. And so again, realizing I didn't know me, I didn't know what I needed, right? Because my people, like I have the most incredible friends, the most incredible friends, period. And they have prayed over me, they have rallied around me, they have fought for me, they have done all the things for me. But there were certain seasons like I was going through things and they did not know, but they knew that something was happening. And so I believe that all of them were praying like she's gone ghost. She's not herself, but she's unable to communicate with us. So we may not be able to show up for her physically. We may not be able to show up for her specifically, but we can cover her. We can war for her in the spirit. So don't y'all come for them. That's not what I meant. Okay. But it is very true that when you don't know yourself, you cannot communicate your actual needs well. Okay. I was having issues with the way that I was engaging with my children because I was so overstimulated. I was so overextended. And all of the feelings of perfectionism and type A and not being able to speak up for the things that I felt that I needed to speak up for as a child, that was being projected onto my kids because my inner Petra, my younger Petra, was fighting to be heard. And I didn't know that because I had never given her space. Because again, while I have amazing parents and they try to do well for me, there's also the reality that there was an expectation that I get things done and that I always show up and do, right? And so those are things that I think really pushed me into this place of realizing I didn't even know who I was. So not even losing my identity, I didn't have one. I didn't have one outside of the one that was fashioned for me and the one that I allowed to be fashioned for me. So if y'all can relate, drop in the comments below. I want to hear from you. So drop in the comments, but I'm also going to tend to Sterling because he just walked in. So give me a second. Mama duties. And so not showing up in the way that I wanted to because I was literally overstimulated. Every noise, every touch, every movement was sending me over the edge. Like, what is this? I need quiet. I need stillness. I need all the things that children don't do. But it was because that's how I was. Not because it's what my parents required, but that's how I was. And because that was what was applauded, cool. That's what we roll with, right? And so there's that. And so seeing it now, even some of my friends who are going through the same things, like they're battling with who am I? What am I? What am I doing? What is my purpose? What is my value? Like all the things, and realizing that sometimes we operate in giftings because, again, we're good at those things, but we're not necessarily operating in our anointing because it is not what people expect of us, but it's also not what we expect of ourselves. And sometimes you are operating in your anointing, but you don't think it's enough. But remember Saul. Saul decided that he was going to offer God more than what God required, and God was like, I'm going to strip it all. So you have to have balance. If this is where you are anointed and this is where he has called you to be, lean into that. That's the first thing. If this is something that you are called to do, it doesn't matter if we think it makes sense or even if you think it's enough. Lean into that and let it be what it's going to be and get to know it for what it is, not for what it's perceived to be. Because that also adds to our angst, that adds to our anxiety, that adds to our feeling of always trying to prove ourselves when we don't lean into what just is. It doesn't need to be proven. It just is. That's the first thing. I think the second thing is making time for you. Date yourself. Date yourself. Like I am very strict now when I need to get away. Robert is very strict about this for me as well. When I need to get away, I get away. I go somewhere. I get a hotel room. I'm gone. I'm unplugged. I'm reading. I'm praying. I'm watching the shows that I want to watch. I'm eating the foods that I want to eat. But I am spending time with Petra in a way that brings me fulfillment. I am not being asked to do anything. I'm not asked to review anything, show up for any, like none of that. No, nada, no, none of it, right? And so that's super key and important, because if you do not take the time to date yourself, then it is impossible for you to know how to love yourself well, because you have to do some trial and error. Like, I'm gonna try this new activity out, I'm gonna try this new place out. Oh, I like that. I can come back to it. That spoke to me. I ain't like that. I don't want to do that no more. There are things that I was doing and places I was going I did not like. But I was going, but I'm like, well, that's where everybody else is going, and that seems to be the expectation. And I finally had to say, I hate this. I don't like this. I don't want to be here. I'm not going. I'm not going. And it's okay. It is okay. So date yourself. Take time to get to know yourself. Write yourself love letters. Keep a journal. Do therapy. Do all the things that you need to do to get to know you. That's important. I think the other thing that you want to do is set aside intentional time for God. And I'm not talking about your regular devotions, but the time with Him where it's just, God, download into me who I am. Download into me who I am. You're not asking Him for anything else. You're not worried about anything else. It is just a time for Him to share with you who He sees you as and who He has called you to be. That is what you need to do. It's like, set aside intentional time. If you can't do it every day, fine, but make sure that it's every week, that you're doing that you're taking the time to do that. Like, that is what is important. So then, hold on, guys. I think another thing to do is really figure out who those friends are in your circle that you can confide in. Like, hey, I am spiraling. I need help. Like, I need space. I need you to just listen. I don't need any advice right now. I just need you to listen. I got to get this off my chest. I got to release it. And those may also be times where they are giving you advice, that they are praying for you, that they are warring for you, that they're doing the things. But find the people that you feel safest with, right? And it's important because, again, in this season, you feel super alone and it's difficult and you feel like you're failing and you don't know what to say because it doesn't make any sense. But it's important to get those thoughts out of your mind and get them into a space where that person is stable. And so they can show you stability. They are emulating what you need. And so your spirit and your mind will pick up on that. Even if you're not conscious to it, you will pick up on it and you will begin to do that. You will stabilize as you're sharing the things, as you're releasing the things. So it's really important to have those people that you feel safe enough to share some of these scary thoughts and feelings. And if they don't have the answers, they will send you where you need to be. They will send you where you need to be. But most importantly, they will pray for you in that moment. And so that's key. I think another thing that has really helped, and I believe will help you, is get yourself a system of how you move through the day until you really understand what's happening to you. So you have a set schedule. You're getting up, you're turning on your word, you're listening to your word as you're getting ready. And then you're getting your coffee. So you're stabilizing in that way. You're praying in the spirit. And then you're starting your day with the people around you. And then for me, I ride in silence in my car because I cannot have all of the extra noise and thoughts. So my children, they play on their tablets and they're good. But as far as me and my space, it's quiet in there. It helps me to stabilize. During the day, I take a break in the middle of the day. And I'm not talking about just a lunch break. I'm talking about I take a full out break. I'm not doing any work. I'm not connecting with anybody. I am taking a moment to decompress from the portion of the day that I've already done. I'm pulling out those thoughts that have been negative. I'm pulling out those thoughts that I haven't been able to sift through yet. And I'm really sitting with them and figuring out, okay, is this something that I need to actually take time with, or is this something I can throw away? And then I'm able to get back into my day. And then I finish my day out. I come home. I take a moment to myself, and then we do homework. And then we do dinner, baths, all the things. And then before bed, I also have another break. Because for me, if I go straight from doing the things, my brain will not shut off. My brain is on hyperdrive at all times. And so I have to take consistent breaks so that my brain knows it's okay. You're okay. You don't have to do anything right now. And so I train it in that way. So I take the break so that I can wind down and then I can go to bed because I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't sleeping, and I was constantly thinking about things. I got to do this. I got to go here. I got to make this happen. I got to do, whatever. And there was nothing effective about it because I wasn't having any fruit. I was just burned out, right? And I was burned out because I couldn't stop myself. But that also makes you ineffective. It makes you ineffective because you're not rested. And so you're not really thinking the plan through. You're just thinking about the result that you need. You need to be able to really think through the plan to really implement a plan. Okay. And then the last thing that I would share with you, and then I want you to share in the comments ways that have helped you, is to really decide for yourself what's important for you. Is it important that everybody else understand who you are, or is it important that you embrace who God says you are? Because again, we told ourselves false narratives, so we can't be trusted. But is it important to you who God says that you are? And are you willing to trust it when he says it, when he makes it clear? And sometimes I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be said to you. It'll be said to someone around you, which just goes back to one of the things I told you, right? You got to get people that are safe places for you, because they can begin to speak life to you, and God can prophetically reveal to them certain things about you and about what he's trying to deliver you into. Not just deliver you from, but deliver you into, because you're birthing something. Okay? That's a whole nother conversation. So sometimes you're looking for him to download an answer straight to you, but he may be downloading it around you. And are you willing to accept that, embrace that, who he says you are, and to lean into that? You have value. You have worth. You don't have to question, did he make a mistake? If he said this about you, then that's that. We're called to bring him glory. There's something inherently special about each of us. And whether we know it today or not does not change that fact. And so do the work of getting to where you can embrace that, accept that, and walk in it, so that you're not running your entire life and feeling as though you failed, but you don't even know what it is that you failed. So there's that. Okay, that's it. That's all I want to talk about today. I want you to drop in the comments your thoughts about this. What are some ways that have helped you through your midlife growth spurts? Because that's what it is. It's a growth spurt. Let me know if this helped you at all. Let me know if you want a part 2. And I'd be happy to bring on some of my girls, because I think that you would really love hearing us talk about this. So let me know if you'd like to see that and chime into that, because we can do that. We can do a little popping off episode. I'll bring some of the girls and we'll talk about our midlife growth spurts, and it'll be fun. And fun, I say, because we always have a good time together, but it'll be very real, very raw, and it'll be a lot. But that's okay, because that's what we all are, right? Yeah. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up, because thumbs up helps me. Make sure that you subscribed if you're not already subscribed, and make sure that you share this video with someone who you believe would really be blessed by it. And then save it for yourself so that you can come back for when you go through this season, or if you're in it right now but you're unable to process because you do feel overwhelmed and overloaded. Save it for a night when you're feeling a little bit more at peace. It'll hold for you. It'll hold. All right, that's it. Talk to y'all soon, pretties. Bye.